Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All goes to Srila Prabhupada. All goes to your Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna. Thank you all for joining. Today Guru Maharaj is not available to give class, but in a short notice, Her Grace Sridevi Mataji, she agreed to give class. Thank you so much, Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All goes to Srila Prabhupada. All goes to our Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much, Mataji, for giving your time and association today, this morning. Please, you can take over, Mataji. Mataji is going to speak on Bhagavad Gita, 15th chapter, 6th verse, 15.6. Thank you, Mataji. I'll share my screen.
Thank you, Srimati. Please accept my humble obeisances, Srimati, as well as all the dear devotees of the Lord who are present on this call. It is an honor and it's a privilege and it's a pleasure for me to serve you through this small service of speaking a little something on the scriptures. So please, my humble request to you is please give me your merciful blessings that I may be able to do justice to this service that has been given to me. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. So today, I was just thinking, what verse should I speak on? And because I was so much inspired after reading this particular verse of the Gita, I thought, let me share this feeling of inspiration that came from just reading this verse. I was very excited after reading it, and I thought, let me share that with all of you. So this is the verse from the 15th chapter, Purushottam Yoga, the Yoga of the Supreme Person, and we are on verse number 6. So I will start with the prayers. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Chandramauli Swami Niti Namini. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namini. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarini Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yat Kripa Tamaham Vande Shri Gurundina Tarini. So this verse, it goes like this. Na tad bhasayate suryo na shashanko na pavakaha yad gatva na nivartante tad dhama paramam mama. Beautiful, beautiful translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. This purport is so nice that I really want all of us to take careful attention to every word that Prabhupada is speaking. That supreme abode of mind is not illumined by the sun or moon, nor by fire or electricity. Those who reach it never return to this material world. Purport. The spiritual world, the abode of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, which is known as Krishna Golok Vrindavan, is described here. In the spiritual sky, there is no need of sunshine, moonshine, fire, or electricity, because all the planets are self-luminous. We have only one planet in this universe, the sun, which is self-luminous, but all the planets in the spiritual sky are self-luminous. The shining effulgence of all those planets called Vaikunthas constitutes the shining sky known as the Brahma Jyotir. Actually, the effulgence is emanating from the planet of Krishna, Golok Vrindavan. Part of that shining effulgence is covered by the Mahat Tattva, the material world. Other than this, the major portion of that shining sky is full of spiritual planets, which are called Vaikunthas, chief of which is Golok Vrindavan. As long as a living entity is in this dark material world, he is in conditional life. But as soon as he reaches the spiritual sky, by cutting through the false perverted tree of this material world, he becomes liberated. Then there is no chance of his coming back here. In his conditional life, the living entity considers himself to be the lord of this material world. But in his liberated state, he enters into the spiritual kingdom and becomes an associate of the Supreme Lord. There he enjoys eternal bliss, eternal life, and full knowledge. One should be captivated by this information. He should desire to transfer himself to that eternal world and extricate himself from this false reflection of reality. For one who is too much attached to this material world, it is very difficult to cut that attachment. But if he takes to Krishna consciousness, there is a chance of gradually becoming detached. One has to associate himself with devotees, those who are in Krishna consciousness. One should search out a society dedicated to Krishna consciousness and learn how to discharge devotional service. In this way, he can cut off his attachment to the material world. One cannot become detached from the attraction of the material world simply by dressing himself in saffron cloth. He must become attached to the devotional service of the Lord. Therefore, one should take it very seriously that devotional service, as described in the 12th chapter, is the only way to get out of this false representation of the real tree. In chapter 14, the contamination of all kinds of processes by material nature is described. Only devotional service is described as purely transcendental. The words Paramam Mama are very important here. Actually, every nook and corner is the property of the Supreme Lord, but the spiritual world is Paramam, full of 6 opulences. The Katha Upanishad 2.15 also confirms that in the spiritual world there is no need of sunshine, moonshine, or stars. Na tatra suryo bhati, na chandra tarakam. For the whole spiritual sky is illuminated by the internal potency of the Supreme Lord. That supreme abode can be achieved only by surrender and by no other means. Let's read that translation again one more time, please. Can you go up a little bit? I cannot see the translation yet. A little more. Okay. That supreme abode of mine is not illumined by the sun or moon, nor by fire or electricity. Those who reach it never return to this material world. So you see over here how nicely Srila Prabhupada is describing what is the spiritual world like. It's luminous, self-luminous. There's no need of moon and sun and fire and electricity and power cut and this and that doesn't happen there. Now I'm in Mayapur Dham, there's frequent power cuts and frequent, lights out and things like that. And I'm thinking to myself, wow, what the spiritual world must be like. There's no need of all these things. They're self-luminous because the effulgence of the Lord who is there in every one of those planets as Narayan in his Vishnu form, full of opulence, full of grandeur, and surrounded by millions of Lakshmis, the goddesses of fortune. We cannot even imagine how opulent, how rich is that spiritual world, which, as Srila Prabhupada says in the 3rd paragraph of this purport, is full of 6 opulences. So those are called the Vaikunthas. And above the Vaikunthas is Golok Vrindavan. Or sometimes we may be wondering, what is this, situation? We are here in the material world, what the spiritual world is like, and where it is, and how it is situated. So I pulled up some images. I will ask if I can screen share.
Yes, Mataji, you can.
Can we do some screen sharing here? Okay, what I would like to show you is first the images of the material universe and then the various spiritual universes. So I'm going to do a little screen share. And you tell me if you can see what I have put up over here. Can everyone see what is there?
Yes, Mataji. Yeah.
Okay, very good. So you see, here is Krishna in his form of Garbhodakashayi Vishnu, and from his navel, you can see a green stem coming up, and then Brahma, the secondary creator of every material universe. And you can see from there, where is Bhulok? Right in the middle. That's the middle planetary system. But below that, you have Patal Lok, Rasatal, Mahatal, Talatal, Sutal, Vital, Atala. Okay, then above the earth planet you have Bhuvarlok, Swargalok, Maharlok, Janalok, Tapalok, Satyalok, where the denizens are situated more and more and more in the mode of goodness. And these higher planets are known as the heavenly planets, and they're full of material opulences, hundreds and thousands times more than just what is present on earth. Now this is just one material universe, and it's covered by layer after layer of what? Earth, water, fire, air, ether, false ego, mind, intelligence, and false ego. And each layer is 10 times the diameter of the previous covering. That means each layer is 10 times thicker. And look at us, where are we? Tiny little earth planet and a tiny little subcontinent of India or North America, wherever. And that big, vast continent, we are tiny little spirit souls. So we can really see, wow, look at this one universe. And like this, there are many, 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 many uncountable material universes, all resting on Anantasesh, who is holding them all up. So like this, all these universes are there. And above that, we will see the Karana ocean. Let's see if I can screen share. Can everyone see this one now?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay, very good. So you can see, let me move this bar down. Okay, so you can see what we just saw right below. Can you see my cursor moving?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay, then above that is the Karana ocean, and there you have Karanadukashayi Vishnu, from whom innumerable universes are just coming out like from his pores. You know, all the universes are just coming out like bubbles, boom, 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 one after the other, with his exhalation. And with his inhalation, everything is again back absorbed. And this is just the material universe, which is 1/4 of the whole creation, because above this, you have all the spiritual planets and the spiritual planetary system, which is 3/4 of the Lord's creation. So really, we have a very tiny portion of the Lord's total creation. You can see Viraja River, then you can see Kailash, which is the abode of Lord Shiva. Then you see where the Vaikuntha Lokas begin here. It's called Aishwarya Dham, which is where the Lord is worshipped in awe and reverence. And here all the different Vaikuntha planets are there, where Lord Narayan in different features is being worshipped by Mahalakshmi, all the goddesses of fortune in awe and reverence. Now you go above that, and here is where Madhurya Dham, where the sweetness of loving servitorship is present, and this is known as Madhurya Dham. You can see over here is Ayodhya Dham, above that Dwarka Dham, and finally you have Golok Vrindavan. Let's see if I have a better, maybe I can show you this. Yeah, you may be able to see it a little better here. Yeah, here you can see Lord Vishnu in his Karanadakashayi feature. So many universes are coming out of his body. You have the Viraja River, which is actually the border of the material and spiritual worlds. And here's where the Brahma Jyoti of the Lord begins, because all the Vaikunthas planets are over here. And because they're so luminous, they give off this Brahma Jyoti, which is the impersonal effulgence of the Lord, which, as we famously have heard over and over again, all the impersonalists go here in this no man's land, practically speaking, because there is no relationship with the Lord. There's no reciprocation. So imagine how difficult that situation is. And then above that, you have Aishwarya Dham, which are the Vaikunthas planets. And as we saw, all the way up is Golok Vrindavan. So you might think, oh my Krishna, how on earth can I get that far? How can we do this, cross all this? and go all the way to Golok Vrindavan? Well, Lord Chaitanya has made it very easy for us. He says, chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram,
Hare Ram,
Ram Ram, Hare Hare, and reawaken your loving relationship with Krishna. Reawaken your true nature, which is that of loving servitorship to Krishna. So let's go back to the purport. I would like to just continue to expound a little bit on that. Srimati, I'll stop share. Yeah, there we go. So now that we have an idea where we are situated, we might think, how on earth can we go all the way to Golok Vrindavan? And I just described that Lord Chaitanya, because the Lord is ever trying to get this conditioned soul to turn to Him. The Lord is ever trying to pull us out of this material existence where we have been rotting for time immemorial, coming back again and again in the cycle of repeated birth and death. So the Lord is trying. Why? Because He loves each and every soul as His own child, because He is the one who has created all these living entities. So as the Father of all living entities, wanting always the best, the welfare of every person, the Lord is always trying to bring us back to Him. As long as a living entity is in this dark material world, he's in conditional life. But as soon as he reaches the spiritual sky, by cutting through the false perverted tree of this material world, he becomes liberated. So now you might say, what is this tree, Mataji? So now this tree is described as a reflection. This whole material universe is described as a reflection, just as a tree which is on the banks of the river is seen in an inverted form. This tree of material existence is described as upside down. That means the roots are going upward and the branches are going down. So Srimati, would you please take us to the 15th chapter, just the chapter where the individual verses, just the translations are there. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay. So there I want to tell you a little bit about what is this tree that Krishna is talking about. It's important to understand this. So we will read.
Shall I go to the verse, Mataji, like second verse?
Yeah, no, this is good. This is exactly where I want you to be. Perfect. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, it is said that there's an imperishable banyan tree that has its roots upward and its branches down, and whose leaves are the Vedic hymns. One who knows this tree is the knower of the Vedas. The branches of this tree extend downward and upward, nourished by the three modes of material nature. The twigs are the objects of the senses. This tree also has roots going down, and these are bound to the fruitive actions of human society, which is our karma. The real form of this tree cannot be perceived. No one can understand where it ends, where it begins, or where its foundation is. But with determination, one must cut down this strongly rooted tree with the weapon of detachment. Thereafter, one must seek that place from which, having gone, one never returns, and there surrender to that Supreme Personality of Godhead, from whom everything began and from whom everything has extended since time immemorial. So see, we should aim for this destination, my dear spirit souls. This is our real home. This is where we actually belong. And this is where we have eternal bliss, eternal joy, eternal peace, and eternal life with Krishna. So who can go there? Those who are free from false prestige, illusion, and false association, who understand the eternal, who are done with material lust, who are freed from the dualities of happiness and distress, and who, unbewildered, know how to surrender unto the Supreme Person, attain to that eternal kingdom. And then we come to our verse today. So let's go there. So verse number 6, which is where we are on. Let's go to the purport, a little below, please. Further down. Yes. Yes, right there. One should be captivated by this information. This is the line that captured me, and I really got so excited. I said, this is something we all need to hear again and again, because we can get so caught up in the things of this world. Oh, my washing machine not working. Oh, my children don't listen. Oh, this happened, that happened, that happened, that happened. And we can get bewildered, because Maya knows exactly how to play tricks on our mind and make us forget the real goal of life, make us forget where our aim and attention should be. So we have to keep redirecting the GPS of our mind. No, back to Krishna. Like that. He should desire to transfer himself to that eternal world and extricate himself from this false reflection of reality. For one who is too much attached is difficult. But if he takes to Krishna consciousness, there's a chance of becoming gradually detached. And now Srila Prabhupada is giving us the formula how we can become detached. We have come to Krishna consciousness. Now we should associate with devotees who are in Krishna consciousness. We should search out such a society, that means the association of devotees, and learn how to discharge devotional service. In this way, he can cut off his attachment to the material world. Haribol! So, we can get very much involved with the things of this world by losing track of what is our real aim of life. So we must redirect our time, our energies, our attention constantly to the mission of Krishna consciousness and engage ourselves nicely in devotional service under the guidance of the spiritual master, so that we can become more and more attached to Krishna and detached from the material energy. Actually, material energy will not have so much power to affect us. This doesn't mean we won't have troubles and difficulties. We will, because that's just the nature of this world. But they will no longer have the power to blow us off course or shake us so much, because we have become very much convinced that this is the path we want to follow. This is the purpose of my life, and I don't want to get distracted from the goal of the human form of life. Therefore, one should take it very seriously that devotional service, as described in the 12th chapter, is the only way to get out of this false representation of the real tree. And in chapter 14, you have the three modes of material nature. And then, clearly devotional service is described, which is described as purely transcendental, is the means. It is the goal, it is the means, it is the beginning, it's the middle, it's the end, it's everything. Our devotional service is our dharma. It is Jivera Swarup Hoy, Krishnera Nityadas. We are eternally servants of Krishna. And this reality we must always keep in mind as we go about our daily life. We must never forget the goal of the human form of life. So, and then Srila Prabhupada goes on to explain again about how beautiful the spiritual world is. It is full of six opulences. There is no need of sunshine, moonshine, stars, for the whole spiritual world is self-luminous. Can we go down a little bit, Srimati? I cannot see beyond, a little bit more. Okay. For the whole spiritual sky is illuminated by the internal potency of the Supreme Lord. That supreme abode can be achieved only by surrender and by no other means. Thank you. So you see, we want Krishna, but can we stop the screen share, and then I can request everybody to please turn on your videos so I can see all of you. That would be very nice. So we all want Krishna, but how to go back to Krishna? We cannot directly hope to attain Krishna. There is a medium to attain Krishna, and that transparent via medium is the bona fide representative of the Lord, the mercy manifestation of the Lord, who has come in the form of the pure devotee spiritual master to guide and to lead us back home, back to Godhead. So without the spiritual masters getting pleased, there's no way we can please Krishna. We must understand that our lives have to be fully surrendered to the desires of the Spirit, because the spiritual master is empowered by Krishna. He's actually the mercy manifestation of Krishna. Balaram Tattva or Radharani Tattva is actually Guru Tattva, because Balaram is the perfect servitor Godhead. And the spiritual master teaches us how to serve the Lord. Right now, we're just like little babies, just learning how to do things. Like a little baby speaks with broken words. But mother and father become so happy. Oh, he said, Mama, Mama, he called out my name. Or da, 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 and he called out my name. So like this, we are just beginning our devotional service. Our singing, our dancing, our speaking of the Lord are just like little broken words. But Krishna becomes so happy. Why? Because finally, after millions and millions and millions and millions of lifetimes of turning away from Krishna, finally we are turning towards Krishna and trying to engage in his service. So he becomes very pleased, and then he makes arrangements for us to get more and more attracted to him, because we are now turning towards Krishna. There is the very famous saying that you take one step towards Krishna, he takes many, 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 many steps towards you. Some say 10 steps. I heard Bhakti Charu Maharaj say 1,000 million steps. So like this. So Krishna makes the arrangement, and we can all see in our own lives where we were before Krishna consciousness, and how after coming to Krishna consciousness, how our lives have changed, how Krishna has arranged for so many wonderful things to happen, which would have never happened. How on earth could we meet so many wonderful devotees right now? Look at us. Somebody is in America, somebody is in Europe, somebody is in India, and here we are all meeting together discussing about Krishna. Where on earth could I have hoped to meet all of you like this? So this Krishna Consciousness International Society for Krishna Consciousness is very wonderful, because it is bringing so many souls from so many different places and countries together. Srila Prabhupada said, this is the real United Nations, because we are all uniting together, coming together with one purpose in mind, that is to serve the Supreme Lord, to please the Supreme Lord. And the via medium is the transparent medium, is the spiritual master. By serving the devotees, by pleasingly serving the devotees, serving the spiritual master, we will be able to one day reach that stage where we can actually please Krishna in perfection. Because in our present state, we cannot. So what does the spiritual master do? He takes our imperfect, impure, broken, whatever service, he purifies it, and then he offers it to Krishna. Otherwise, how we can even think of doing anything for Krishna? It's not possible. So the pure spiritual master is there. We have a very wonderful, wonderful personality sent to us by Krishna. And this is our only good fortune in this material world, that we have the lotus feet of the pure devotee guiding us back home, back to our eternal spiritual world, where every word is a song, every step is a dance, every day is a festival, and Krishna is playing his flute and dancing and singing and doing mischief and stealing butter and doing all kinds of wonderful things. That is our real home, full of joy, full of delight, full of variety, full of enjoyment, because the nature of the soul is what? Anandamayo bhyasat. So we want to regain what we have lost. This is not an artificial thing. This is real, because our real self is pure spirit soul, and our real home is in the spiritual world. So having forgotten that world, here we are now, in this material world, and we are trying to revive our loving relationship with Krishna. And that, how does that revival begin? With the tongue. Srila Prabhupada said the tongue has two businesses: taking Krishna prasadam and chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So chanting is our process. Chanting is the means chanting is the end, chanting is the middle, chanting is everything, because through this process of chanting, we will revive our loving relationship with Krishna. And the quality of our chanting will take us to higher and higher realms of bhakti, because as we purify our hearts more and more, what happens? More and more of our loving propensities will come out. More and more of our desire to be submissive and serve the order of the Lord will happen. More and more surrender will happen. More and more clarity and intelligence will be given to us on how to serve nicely. Guru Maharaj says the holy name will protect you, will guide you, and purify you. So our chanting will help us to purify us, to protect us, and to guide us more and more on the path of bhakti. And Krishna, seeing the sincere soul, he will give the intelligence how to come back to him. Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayanti te. This is that famous verse in 10th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. To those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. And Krishna wants us back more than we want to go back. We are still clinging. No. I want to cling to this. I want to cling to that. I want to cling to that, as though it will be there forever. Ultimately, no matter how hard we cling to anything, death will take everything away. So why not start practicing for that time when we'll have to anyway give up everything and get more attached to Krishna, so that it's not such a struggle at the time of death to give up things, because we have been practicing and getting detached. So the process of detachment will come in the association of devotees, as we engage nicely in devotional service, as we perfect our devotional life, which begins with sadhu sangha, adaushraddha, bhajana kriya, anartha nivriti, nishtha, ruchi, asakti, bhava, prema. Mr. Anartha nivriti. Yeah, did I say that? Yes. Anartha nivriti, nishtha, ruchi, bhava, and prema. So step by step, we will slowly move more and more upward towards the perfection of life, which is prema pumarto mahan, uncovering the love that is there in our hearts for Krishna. So this is actually the pure Krishna conscious state, where we are fully in love with Krishna. We're fully absorbed in Krishna. We cannot not think of Krishna. It's only Krishna, 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 Krishna. Hey, that's the state we want to get to, where we are completely absorbed in Krishna's loving service. We have regained our true spiritual relationship with Krishna, and we are now ready to go back to Krishna and be with him in the spiritual world. And this is not an impossibility. This is not something that is, just an idea. This is real, because this process is scientific. And we have many examples of devotees who have been so sincere, and finally, at the time of giving up their bodies, they were only thinking of Krishna, only chanting Hare Krishna. Look at our Janakinath. Last 4 hours of his life, he was preaching to a nurse and teaching her the value of association of devotees. When he showed his TED talk show to her on his cell phone and asked her to listen to it, after 15 minutes, she came back and he asked, so what did you learn? She said, I learned that I must associate with devotees of Bhaktivedanta manner. I spoke of this in the lecture I gave at Sri Mayapur Dham yesterday. I spoke of the glorious life of Janakinath, how like a spiritual warrior, in spite of so many reversals, he just kept focused on that goal of Krishna consciousness. Like Bhishma Dev, he was like a warrior. And even while giving up the body, he was preaching Krishna consciousness. That is really the perfection of life. To be so Krishna conscious at the time of death that there is no possibility of coming back into this dark material world of power cuts and power outages. We want to go back to Krishna, where everything is beautiful, full of light, full of love, full of joy, full of peace, and ever increasing bliss of serving Krishna. So thank you all for listening very, very patiently. We will now open up for questions, comments, realizations.
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you so much for such a wonderful class. Yes, you reminded us what is our goal of life and what should we be focused on. So even I got very much caught up with that word captivated, where we get captivated to a lot of material things around us, but our goal should be Goloka Vrindavana. We have to be more attracted and always thinking of that place where we have to go back. Thank you so much, Mataji, once again reminding us. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to serve you all in my own humble way with my own little broken words. Thank you for tolerating me.
So dear devotees, if you have any questions or comments or realizations, please go ahead, Mataji. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Namrata, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Prabhupada, all glories to our Gurudev.
Please accept my humble obeisances as well. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharaj. Mataji, I wanted to know a little bit, maybe, elaboration on Anarth Nivritti. If you can elaborate a little, so I would like to know that.
Okay. So basically, when we come to Krishna consciousness, we are coming into it with a lot of lifetimes of many offensive mentalities, habits, thoughts, perverted desires, and so on and so on and so on. So therefore, our hearts are very much, clouded, contaminated. It's not clear, pure, clean place. So anartha nivritti is the process of weeding out all these different anartha. Anartha means useless things that are not helpful to us in our bhakti. Anartha means something that's useless, something that's unwanted, lust, anger, greed, illusion, pride, envy, and all the cousins and second cousins of those things. All these things are filling up our hearts actually and perverting our thoughts, perverting our words, perverting our actions, because we are influenced by those things. We get trapped in the different modes of material nature, and then it comes out as anger, or it comes out as greed, or it comes out as envy or hatred or this or that, and so many nasty things, as Srila Prabhupada said. So the process of anartha nivritti is clearing out all that stuff from the heart so that it becomes a clean place where Krishna will be happy to come and perform his pastimes. Our hearts become butter soft, as Guru Maharaj said. Our hearts become so butter soft that Krishna wants to steal that butter. So we want to make our hearts like that. And this is the process of anartha nivritti, is clearing out all those unwanted things from the heart and becoming more and more situated in the mode of goodness first, and then in the mode of transcendence. So anartha nivritti, until 75% is all cleared up, we cannot reach the platform of nishtha or steadiness in devotional service. Because right now we are wobbling, we are sometimes we do something, sometimes we don't, sometimes we say, oh, this person offended me, I'm not going anymore to do my service. Our false ego is hurt, we feel, upset or annoyed or something, and we just, but nishtha means we continue steadily in our devotional service, no matter what is going on. So for that point between bhajana kriya is initiation, until anartha nivritti, until nishtha is that Siberian desert called anartha nivritti. We have to cross over that. And for this, following the instructions of the spiritual master very carefully, by listening to the spiritual master's instructions, first and foremost, making inquiries and asking Guru Maharaj, how can I serve nicely? What do I need to work on? What are the things that are blocking my advancement? So we must time to time be making inquiries from the spiritual master about how to make progress in our devotional life. And then by the spiritual master's mercy, one by one, we will be actively clearing out all those things, you know, because each of us is a unique individual, and each one of us has a particular set of challenges and obstacles that are unique to us. Some of us, you know, maybe having difficulty in one area, but somebody else in another. So the spiritual master knows exactly how to guide each and every person so that they can make nice advancement in devotional service and reach the platform of Nishtha. So this is my little understanding. I'm sure there is much, much more. And feel free to ask Guru Maharaj if you would like to do that about Anartha Nivritti.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you for your insight on that.
Actually, Anartha Nivritti doesn't end, it continues even through, because remember we said to reach Nishtha, 75% have to be gone, but the rest 25% have to be cleared up, you know, even further through the other stages like Ruchi, Bhava, like that. For example, Bharat Maharaj got attracted to a deer, even though he was at a very exalted point. All anarthas vanish completely when you come face to face with Krishna. No more anarthas, because Krishna is completely purifying. Like that. Is that all right?
Yes, Mataji. I think I got a lot of things from what you said. I'm just asking. So when we chant, when we do austerities, so all this helps in clearing our anartha nivritti at a basic level. Is it right?
Yes. Very true, very true. It's called weeding out the anarthas. Weeding out the anarthas means literally pulling out all the anarthas by the root and pulling them out, never to entertain them ever after that. So the holy name, in fact, we have to be very active in doing this anartha nivritti, because the holy name, as it waters our bhakti lata bij, will also water our weeds. So our weeds will also grow along. So we must be very careful and attentive and pull out these anarthas by the roots so that they will not choke up our bhakti lata bij.
And then when we, grow further, and where we stop somewhere, there I think we should take help from our guru.
Say that again, please.
So as we are moving forward and clearing anartha nivrittis by the basic things, and then where we stop, where we get hurdles or restrictions, we take help from our guru to clear those hurdles. Is it
at all stages we must take shelter? It doesn't mean that, okay, now I come to a hurdle, where's my spiritual master, let me look around for him. We want the mercy of the spiritual master every stage, so we don't have to wait for an obstacle to come up and then start looking around for a spiritual master. Once we understand the goal of the human form of life and the importance of the mercy of the spiritual master, right away we connect with spiritual master and seek his blessings, his guidance, no matter what stage and what level we are practicing.
Okay, Mataji, I think, this quite clears. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Nice questions. Thank you.
Hare Krishna devotees, any more questions or comments? So Mataji, I was thinking like Guru Maharaj is our spiritual doctor. So whatever symptoms we have, if we present before him, he will purify us. He will cure us.
Exactly. Just as when you go to a doctor, you tell honestly, I'm having cold, I'm having headache, I'm having fever, I'm having this, I'm having that. Because unless you tell very honestly what symptoms you have, how the doctor will know what medicine to give you? So you said it very nicely by saying he is the spiritual doctor. and he administers the medicine. Enechi Ausadi Maya Nasi Baro Lagi Hari Nama Mahamantra Lao Tumi Magi. And I recall how many bitter pills Guru Maharaj has given me to swallow. Now that you're telling me about it. So many instructions, so much, chastisement, so many things, we have to swallow those things, because if you want to get better in bhakti, we know that without his merciful guidance to help us get better, we are not going to get better. So yes, beautiful analogy, spiritual doctor. I like that. Thank you.
Thank you much.
Nice realization.
And when I was reading the purport previously, just 3-4 days back, my son Siddharth, he was telling that, look at the sun, Ma, that this is the same sun who everyone saw it. We are seeing the same sun which is seen by Srila Prabhupada and Lord Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So like that, so this is the sun which is eternally there since time. So the same sun we are seeing. See how exciting it is, he was telling. So just I remembered that when I was reading this purport. Yeah.
Well, the sun is not eternally there, because when the time everything is reserved. Yes, but I know what you mean. For millions and millions of years, the sun, because the yuga cycles continue like that, and only after that everything gets dissolved into the body of Mahavishnu. So yes, we have the same sun down on us, which was there millions of years ago. True.
Sudha Mataji, you want to ask anything?
Yes, Mataji. Yeah, I don't have any specific questions. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you so much for the beautiful class. Please accept my humble obeisances. Our glories to Srila
Please
Prabhupada.
accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Prabhupada. All glories to our beloved Gurudev.
Yeah, thank you, Mataji. I don't have any specific questions, but thank you for so nicely explaining about the banyan tree, which always I don't really understand, even though I read it so many times. But maybe we could like to have one class on that again. But thank you so much for explaining that. And as you said, Maya is very strong. And I feel like Maya is really very strong, Mataji, even though we try with so many things. I mean, it's like a magnet. We easily get attracted to that. Then, Krishna conscious, I see that. And Mataji, you said unwanted things, right?
Anartha.
Anartha vritti. So we are chanting. Now we realized so many things, right? At conscious level, like what we wear and what we have to work on that, right? So these unwanted things will go away permanently, or will it come back? Or do we need constant practice, constant hearing and all that? Should we continue?
Yes, we have to constantly be endeavoring to pull out the anartha by its root. Because unless, it's like grass, you just cut the grass at surface level, after some time the grass is back.
Okay.
In the nectar of instruction, Maharaj Parikshit says, what is the use of atonement? It's like elephant taking bath. It takes bath in river, then it comes out and throws dust over itself. So anartha nivritti must be so serious that that anartha will never come back again to haunt us, And that comes from attentive chanting. When we are not chanting attentively, then we are not really pulling out the anartha by its root, because only by attentive chanting will those anarthas get destroyed. The holy name will purify us. But we shelter of the holy name. It's like the doctor gives you, take 2 pills in the morning, afternoon, evening, and I think, oh, this doctor doesn't know anything. He's giving such strong pills. I'll take 1 3 times a day. And you still have half the disease then at the end of the course. So we must be very careful to follow the process correctly, to take the medicine properly, to follow the instructions of the spiritual master, and to very actively work on our anarthas. Attentive chanting. This is actually the key. Attentive chanting is the key for us to really connect with Krishna, destroy our anarthas, and start making some advancement in our Krishna consciousness. And we will see that if we pay attention to our chanting, it's going to pay very rich dividends.
So it's like a constant practice and constant checking on your unwanted things, anarthas. So we have to keep...
Right. Am I getting less irritated and angry with people? Am I less reactive to when provocations come? Because Maya will test you. Maya tests all of us all the time. So, the same situations which provoke us, and especially in family, our family members can really push our buttons, as they say. And so when we find ourselves becoming less reactive, less irritable or annoyed or angry, then we can think, okay, finally I'm able to overcome my tendency to be angry, irritated, annoyed, things like that. We will see those changes in ourselves as we make advancement. We will become more patient, we'll become more tolerant, we'll become more peaceful, less reactive, less likely to get provoked, but we will see those changes in ourselves.
Oh, yes, Mataji. So it's a constant check and constant practice.
Constantly we work on those anarthas. Yes.
Yeah.
And
So
when one layer of anarthas is gone, another layer presents itself.
Yes, yes.
So then we have to pull out those. So it's not so easy. But then what other way is there? We have to go to Krishna. So we have to undertake this, because you see, we have been, associating with the material energy for so many lifetimes. We have acquired so many bad habits. You see? So our endeavor also has to be that strong. We have to think, oh my gosh, I've been carrying this around for so long. It's just crippling me. It's just causing so much distress. Why should I carry this burden anymore? We should think like that. I want to be joyful. I want to be peaceful. I want to be full of energy. I want to serve the Lord nicely and not feel anxious, fearful, worried, nervous, or getting upset with little things. We don't want to be like that, because negative energy is actually draining us. It depletes us. It debilitates us. So we want to get rid of all those things.
Thank you, Mataji. That's really helps. Thank you so
And the
much.
association of devotees is absolutely immensely beneficial for this process, because in the association of devotees, we get strength to do all these things. Alone, difficult, in the age of Kali especially. That is why Srila Prabhupada gave us this ISKCON. He knew that it would be very hard otherwise. He made this society of devotees just for us to have that shelter, to have that place where we can go and nourish ourselves and get the strength to attack our anarthas, to do the hard work of anartha nivritti. All this happens in the association of devotees. We actually learn from each other. Devotees are like mirrors. They show us, we can see, oh, wow, look at this devotee in this situation. They didn't get provoked. They didn't get annoyed. They handled it so gently, so calmly, so patiently. I can also learn to be like that. Now I can see that they showed me by the example how we can observe other people, how they are dealing with situation, and we can learn so much from devotees. It is essential to have association of devotees, because we learn from them and we also learn where we are going wrong.
Very true, Mataji. Yeah, thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much for nice points to share. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Thank you for very nice questions.
Thank you, Mataji.
Speaking to myself here. Your questions are reminding me how much I have to work on different things. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
So anyone else have any more questions or comments? Okay, Mataji, we are...
Valentina Tereshkova. Haribol, all the way from Zagreb. Hare Krishna. How are you?
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji, for the lecture. It was really inspiring.
Thank you for being here with us, and thank you for listening so intently, and thank you for just gracing us with your presence. I'm so grateful to see you.
Thank you. I am the great one, the fortunate one. Thank you so much. Well, I try to be attentive, but some days I'm not really, I don't know. I try.
I thought you were the most attentive. You were so intently listening. I was really watching you and I was thinking, wow, Valentina is really listening. I better be careful what I'm saying.
It's great. Bhagavad Gita is the best. I don't know.
Yeah, it's wonderful. You know, coming back to Gita always gives me so much sense of security. Like, okay, this is my shelter, you know, Bhagavad Gita. Yeah, Bhagavad Gita is wonderful. And my dear sister Shama Rani, just today morning I was remembering Shama Rani. I was standing in front of and I was thinking, my dear sister Shama Rani told me, now you just become like Meera. You just get absorbed in Krishna. I'll never forget that instruction. It empowered me.
I offer my humble obedience. Such a wonderful instructive class. Thank you so much, Sridevi. Thank you. Well, much needed. Thank you. Please pray for us.
You please pray for me. You have helped me so much, and you have been such a pillar of strength to me in my times of great distress that there is no way I cannot take shelter of you. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Prabhupada, all glories to Gurudev. When are you coming to Mayapur?
Hopefully soon. Right, Radha Madhav, I want to.
Wonderful, I will. You know, I'm really praying to the Lord that somehow or the other, please give me a place where I can have my God family feel, okay, they also can come and be over here in the Dham just because their sister is over there. So I'm praying to the Lord to give me such a place that at least my God family will be able to come and visit.
That's so nice.
Haribol.
Okay, Mataji. So if there are no more questions or comments, we can end the call here. Thank you once again for coming and giving classes in such a short notice. Thank you so much, dear devotees, for participating. Very nice question answer session. Thank you so much, everyone. Let's bear obeisances. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha
kripa sindhubhyeva patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha.
Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj
ki jai. Haribol. Thank you very much. My grateful, humble obeisances to each and every one of you. So special, so dear, so beloved, Guru Maharaj and to Krishna. I'm so grateful to be in your association. I don't know what I did to earn your association, but I'm very grateful for it. Thank you all so much.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.